This
Just a second.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
Now, so what I'm going to teach you today is Terraform. So the first question is, what is Terraform, right? So typically anyone whom you ask what is Terraform, so they'll say Terraform using, you can create an infrastructure. Okay, create infrastructure. So typically what is the category for this tool? So typically we call it, this is a tool for code for infrastructure. See, code, nowadays we are in the kind of world where we are coding for everything, coding for the product feature, coding for testing, coding for CI, coding for CD, coding for testing, coding for security. So yes, coding for infra creation also, so code for infra, but typically we call it infrastructure as a code, IAC. Okay, so this is the category. So using Terraform, you can code for infra. Now, next question you have, what is an infra? So typically, the definition of infra, it can be very wide actually, very wide. Uh, if you look at the 20 years before, the infrastructure definition was different. 10 years before different, now it's different. But more or less, nowadays we run everything on the cloud like AWS, Azure, right? And Google Cloud. So these are the infra we can consider. But yeah, definition of infra is very, very wide actually. So now, if you want to know, okay, you can code, right, uh, using Terraform for infra, but I want to know the complete list of infra for which I want to code. So simply go for Terraform providers. Okay. So here, if you see complete list of providers, you will see that means these are the list you see, AWS, Azure, and all, and huge list actually. See, 5,292. That means using Terraform, you can code for this many platforms. Such a huge list. I won't be able to do lifetime in that way, correct? So what to focus? So one or two you focus, remaining you pattern you can understand. Hardly use everything. So these are the complete list of platform using you can code using Terraform. Got it, all of you?
Yes, yep.
Okay, so now this is a code for infra. Now the question you will say, why we need Terraform? Why Terraform? Now see, um, you can do everything through Java also, Python also, but there are certain tools are designed for certain things. Simple logic. Okay, certain certain tools are designed for certain domains, certain problems area, and which will help us to do easy to learn, implement, debug, test, share, and so on. So when you want to do the infra coding and you have a multiple providers, multiple platform you can call it. So which tool you can find easy to do that, faster to do that, faster to do that. Okay, how easy to debug those codes, test, share, and all. So that way we have a domain specific language. Domain specific language means the certain language designed for certain task only. So Terraform is one of the language, one of the tool, right? So it has been designed for coding for infrastructure. Now uh, you have many other alternatives also, Terraform alternative like Ansible you can use for this. Few more options are there, but I would say like very rarely talked about it, and very rarely uh, you know discuss about it. So top five alternative of Terraform. So if you put it up, Ansible will be there, and then Pulumi is there, CloudFormation is there, and these are there. But here the difference are, just a second, only names. Okay, so these are the things are there. But if you look at this AWS CloudFormation, yes, it's an alternative for Terraform. But question is very simple. CloudFormation will work on Azure or Google Cloud? No. You see, Terraform will work everywhere. So there's no alternative. Ansible Yes, it can work for multiple cloud, but there is a difference. Ansible versus Terraform, we need to discuss. This is the interview question actually. Okay, so we need to discuss when to use Ansible and when to use Terraform. Ansible is very powerful, but where to use it? Okay, we need to discuss. Now, again, Google Cloud Deployment Manager only work on the Google, ARM work on Azure, so like that. Crossplan and Pulumi is not widely used, and hardly we have any requirement also for that. So, in a sense, if you want to write a code for infra, Terraform is the clear winner in this category. Okay, clear, all of you?
Yes.
Okay, so now the question is what is the difference, major difference between Ansible and Terraform? This is the interview question. People will ask you when to use Terraform. So see, simple solution I'm giving you. When you want to create, update, destroy infra, whole environment in one go, then use Terraform. This is the best for it. Okay, this is designed for it. Okay, and when you want to update, mind it here, I'm saying update server, I'm saying servers. Yesterday, last session, we had a discussion, right? Servers, multiple servers. See, using Terraform, you can create easily whole infrastructure. Let's say you can create hundreds of VMs. But if you want to update the VMs, which is good, use Ansible. Are you understanding? So when you want to create the whole infrastructure, whole environment in one go, Terraform is the best tool. When you want to update your servers, which was created by Terraform, Ansible is good. But let me tell you, Terraform has a capability which Ansible can do. Yes, and Ansible has a capability which Terraform can do. But again, I'm talking about this one, which is which task is designed for what tool, better way which tool can do. Make sense? All of you?
Uh,
Hello?
so if suppose we have created using Terraform and like it uses certain keywords, terminologies, right? I mean, it has a particular language and schema, and wherein Ansible also has the same. So if let's say you say like we'll create with Terraform, but with to use it for update for Ansible, like isn't it something
No, no,
again
no.
we have to?
Okay. So when I create, think about the infrastructure. Don't talk about the application level, right? So
Okay.
think about the infrastructure. For example, I'll give you example. You want to create a VPC, okay, network. You want to create EKS clusters. You want to create EC2. You want to create EBS. You want to create configure S3, right? You want to configure DNS, all these things, correct? So these are the things you want to create, update, and destroy. So you should use, and these all are AWS, correct? So in that case, you use TF, AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. You use the Terraform. But now EKS or EC2, we have a VMs, right? You want to update the VMs. Let's say update apt update. You want to run it. So which tool is good? Ansible is good. Remember,
Okay.
Ansible can update your servers. Correct? Getting my point. So in this way. So for example, you want to, in your case, let's say you want to go to EC2 instance and update your MySQL. You said MySQL, I want to run it. Which tool is good? Ansible is good. Got it. But how do we create the infrastructure? Which tool is good? Terraform is good. Whole infrastructure. But I just said, using Ansible, you can do everything, or using Terraform also, you can do everything. But which is the best tool? This way you have to understand. So Ansible is good for updating servers, VM. Okay. Please understand. But if you want to create a whole infrastructure, this whole infrastructure you want to create for, let's say, dev, and then after that QA, after that staging, after that prod. So which tool is good?
Okay.
Terraform is good. Got it?
Yeah.
But if you want to create update servers, you want to install applications. Here I'm saying install applications. Update. When I say update VMs, you can do any changes in the VMs. Install
Mm.
application, remove it, or MySQL, or web server, or app server. Which tool is good? Ansible is good. Got it?
Yeah. Sure.
Patrick, you got this?
Yeah.
So there is a very important question. Please remember that. Okay, come back to the topics. So what is Terraform? So using Terraform, you can code for infra. It's IAC tool. Okay, using which to which uh, platform you can code for it. So I showed you. You can refer this URL. 5,000 plus are there. Major part this one. My training will be around AWS. Okay, so in terms of version, they have a three version. One is community. Okay, one is enterprise, and another one is cloud. Okay, so community basically is a command line, it's a free. Okay, and that is what I'm teaching you. That's more than needed for you right now. Enterprise is a UI tool for enterprise problems. Enterprise like UI tool, we have role based access control, logging, centralized monitoring, many things are there. So cloud, I mean centralized workspace and all, many things are there. Okay, and this is also GUI tool but hosted by TF. This you can host, self-host, you can do that. Now this both are paid. Enterprise is paid and cloud is paid. By the way, cloud you can get limited options free of cost also, so you can try that with that place. So these are the three things we have now. How the Terraform has been written? So it has been developed using Golang. So if you want to customize something, Golang is to go. Now which company has developed this tool? So this tool has been developed by HashiCorp. Okay, HashiCorp. Now HashiCorp is the organization. They have developed multiple tools, and I'm teaching you multiple tools for HashiCorp. Okay, so if you go to the HashiCorp here, okay, now recently it was bought by IBM, and now click on the products. Look at this, their products. Terraform I'll be teaching you, and then Vault I'll be teaching you. Maybe Console need to check. Packard. So many products they have it actually. So they have in fact reduced the number of products. Earlier it was more. After acquisition, they have realigned, I guess. Vagrant and all they removed actually from here. Maybe they don't want to display that. Okay, so yeah, uh, console is there. Nomad is here. Yeah, Nomad is
No.
here. Yeah. So yeah, many tools are there. Boundary is there. Secure remote access and Vault I'll teach you. So yeah, good company. They have a multiple products. So like that. So this is HashiCorp. This is Terraform. Okay. Now next question is how Terraform works. Okay. How Terraform works. So in Terraform, you need to understand. First thing, I'll create an image for you so you'll understand better way. So in Terraform, this is you. Okay. This is you. And when you say why Terraform, so here you know what, you can write one code specifications for all 5,000 platforms. That's a major advantage. So yeah, let's put it in this way. So if you want to automate AWS, you have to use um, this one. What to say? Just now I was discussing, right? Cloud formation. If you want to automate Google, what do you have to use? Cloud deployment manager. If you want to automate Azure, what do you have to use? ARM, Azure resource management. So everyone has a different coding specification. So like that, let's say if you want to update 10 platform, so you have to learn the 10 coding specification, you get mad, right? But Terraform has a beauty. One coding specification, it will work for everything. So basically, this is you will write one code. This is a one code, you will write it. Okay. Now this code, which is for the automating, let's say AWS, Kubernetes, and GitHub, three providers I'm discussing, and this. So let's say AWS, one cloud, one Kubernetes platform, and one GitHub, right? Git can be GitLab or Bitbucket also, right? So whole infrastructure you have written in one providers, correct? Now this code which you are writing, we are writing in HCL. Okay, what we are writing? HCL, HashiCorp Configuration Language. What do we call it? This specification, HCL code. Okay, very this code is very easy to learn, implement, debug, test, share. Very easy to do that. You don't have to learn so many specification. Only one specification will work. Now this code you write, and this code you send to Terraform. So what is Terraform then? So Terraform is one executable. How to install it? I'll show you that. You can, because written in Go, right? So you can install in Windows, Linux, and Mac, everywhere. So this is the executable. Now this Terraform, let's say you have a AWS code here, Kubernetes code here, and GitHub code here, right? So you one specification, one code you write, everything you put it in one code. So now the AWS code need to be sent here, correct? For API call, Kubernetes API will be here, and then GitHub API will be here, correct? Now then only that you'll be able to create, update, or delete the resources, correct? Agree?
Hmm.
So specifications are different. So like that, we have 5,000 platforms. So 5,000 specifications are there. So in that case, what Terraform has introduced, they have introduced one concept called provider. AWS provider. This is the provider. See here. So that means for every platform, there is a different providers. That's what I was showing you this one actually. These are the providers only. So what is this provider? These are also executable. Don't overthink. These are also executable. So this is executable. This is executable. But this is there where? In your laptop. Please remember, this is your laptop from where you are running the uh, Terraform. And this is also in laptop. You can keep it separate also. We'll talk about this one first. Focus on the technology, learning the tools actually. So your code will be, you will be there in your laptop. Terraform will be installed in your laptop. Provider also will be installed in your laptop. How? That's, I'll show you that demo. So what happens? See here. This whole code you write, you send to Terraform saying that either you create this code, apply, or update the code, or destroy the code. So A, apply means two things will happen: create or update, and destroy means delete. Okay, so when you say create this resources, AWS resources, or update this Kubernetes resources, or GitHub resources, whatever it is. So now what Terraform will do, Terraform will get this code, validate this sanity will be done, and then send to the different providers. This code will be sent to AWS providers, Kubernetes providers, and GitHub providers. And now this provider will make a call to AWS API, Kubernetes API, and GitHub API. Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
So now what will happen when you make a, see, some code, some request, you make it to API of AWS or Kubernetes or GitHub, they will send you the response. It can be success or it can be failed, I don't know, it depends on your coding, but response will be there, right? Now where the response will be, let's say it got successfully created, AWS respected that all this thing and created the resources, updated the resources. So they will give you the response, and this response will be stored in the state file. Remember, this is also in, you'll be in laptop. Okay, so this will be stored in your state file. This is a JSON file actually. State file, we call it a JSON file. That's all. So it's very simple. You write a code, send to Terraform with the saying that apply or destroy. Terraform will aggregate those code, send to the providers. Providers will make a call to the APIs, through APIs to the platform. Platform will create, update, or delete whatever it is you have asked in the code, and update in the state file, stored in the state file. The whole work is done. That's all. So this is a Terraform. So what do you need to do? If you really want to learn Terraform, what do you need to do? So you need to, first thing, you need to install Terraform. Okay, let me change the color. Okay, some different color. You have to install first Terraform. Second thing, you have to install that provider. These all are executables. Third thing, write a code. Fourth thing, apply the commands Terraform apply or Terraform destroy. Fifth thing, look at the state file. This whole thing is done. Understood? So whatever you write in code, it will be done. So the most important thing is your code, how to write a code. Got it?
So these providers, as you said, these are executables, right? So there are, if say, 1,000 providers, and we might not need 1,000. So
So
is
don't
it like
install it.
we acquire? Okay.
Install the
So, but
one
it
which you
will
need.
be available with the
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
with the
See,
bundle, is it?
this is
Mhm.
the URL for every answer. That's what I'm showing you. The one more thing, use the this URL only, because Google documentation is outdated and ChatGPT is hallucinate also. Sometime
Mm.
older code they'll give it to you. So this will give you the right information. So how do we get it code? Here it is. This I'll show you that. Anyways, I'll show you the demo.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, so this is the all providers you have. So now let's again repeat. First install Terraform. Second install provider. Third install write a code. Fourth run the commands. Fifth check the sheet files. Now, Patrick, any questions?
No, it's clear to me.
Good. Okay, so now you understood how it works. Now I'm going to do that. So first thing, step number one, install. Step number one, I'm just putting in steps so you'll not forget. Terraform install. Okay. Now you know that for everything you have a tutorials, right? So Terraform install DevOpsSchool, and here you can follow this one, this tutorial, and this is a Windows if you want. From where we can download, and this is Windows, and this is the PowerShell. This is Ubuntu, this is RHEL, this is Linux manually, whatever it is. So I'll go for the Windows right now because that way you can visualize and see that stuff. So now let's say here it's a Mac Windows. I'm using AMD 64 download. Now this is a one utility. You saw that? I'm downloading. I think around 30 MB or something like that. Done. So now here. So here I will extract it. Here it is. Now this is executable, simple, right? No need to complicate. This executable I can copy anywhere, but you know what? I have a habit to copy in my some location which is C tools because I want to keep it every tools organized. So I keep it here. Now this is the older tool. I will delete this, and here I will go and copy. Done. So now this tool, now this path is you can use that for this thing, but you know I have a one more things. I will add this in the path environment variable. Okay, so I can access anywhere in my system. So system or user environment variable, anywhere you can add, it will work. So here environment variable. So this is the user, this is the system. Okay, so in the path if you add here also you have a path, anywhere it will work, no problem. So here I have already added, you see, so it will work for me. Okay, either user variable or system variable. So good to go. So it's already added, so I don't have to do that. So how do we validate? Just go to the command line or PowerShell and just type Terraform. If you are getting the output like this, that means installed. Simple. Now you have some main commands which you run every time, out of which apply and destroy I told you. and rest of the commands also I'll tell you, but all other commands are also available for you. That's all. So if you see that first step in the image, I did it. Okay. Now the question is how to install provider. So now see, providers you can install through step one, how to install provider. Just a second. How to install Terraform providers. Now providers you can install through code. Yeah, so you can write a code. That's the code. There is a code you can write for installing the providers also. Okay, manually also good. You can do that, but I have hardly seen anyone doing, including myself, because code will do the best way. Okay, so how do we install it? So first thing, because I'm going to help you to write a code for downloading the providers also. So I need to tell you something. So there is one directory. Okay, in the directory, this typically we call it a module. I'll not discuss right now, but typically we call it a module. And this directory you have a one file which is called main.tf. The name of the tf can be anything. Don't get confused. Okay, or this you have, let's say 200 lines of code. 200 lines of code. Now 200 lines is very difficult to manage and understand, right? So I have decided I will convert into one main, 1.tf, 2.tf, 3.tf. So I divide it into 3.tf and multiple tf. Okay, this code. So what will happen when you run? Please understand that. Um, Typically, when we used to run the code, we used to run the each individual code. Okay, but in this Terraform, it's not like that. When you run the Terraform apply, this again show you the command, see apply or destroy, this will run for the entire directory, entire module. So if you have a code, what I'm trying to tell you, if you have a code in one file, all code in one directory, okay, one directory, or you have divided the same code into the three files and same one directory, this will be considered as a one code, one project, one module. Understood?
Okay.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
So please understand, it's a little different concept. So you cannot say, Rajesh, I want to run only one code of that directory. No, you have to run whole directory. So if you want to run one code, that means one directory, one TF file only. Clear? Okay, so how to save Terraform code? That's a answer. So .tf you can do that. Okay, so here I all TF files, please understand, in one directory is merged when we run the Terraform. When we run Terraform, plan, apply, destroy. Okay, you cannot run single file. You cannot run single file. So this is the conceptual things. Okay, so good. So with this basic information, now the question was how to install Terraform. So I will ask Terraform itself. Hey, can you please tell me how can I install it? So I go to the provider page here, and let's say I'm working on the AWS. This is one, and here you see there is one button. So 5,000 provider, 5,000 button you will see, and there's one button will be there, use provider, and they will give you this code. This code is sufficient for it. But if you want to version the provider, hard code the provider version, then you can use this one also. So this is the called block. So let me create a projects. One projects here. Uh, um, Here I'll call it Moto this project I'm creating, and then I can name it any file name. Okay, no problem, but it should be .tf. But because I'm storing the provider code, I'll name this providers.tf. Okay, and now I will open up and this code. Again, I'm repeating, this code is more than sufficient. This code you are adding because you want to hard code the version of providers. Typically, if not, latest will be taken. Okay, this is a good practice. So Terraform block will help you to version the provider version, and this is the real options. So now code is done. So what to do now? What to do now? So now how to download the providers? So that's the question. So I'll go to the command line, and the command which I run, terraform init. That's all. So this will download the provider. You can see in the backend, it will create one empty folder, hidden folder on .terraform, and it will download. So it is downloading right now. It's taking little time. It's taking too much time actually. Now it's came. So you see that .terraform it came. That's a hidden folder. That is where the executables for the Terraform will be there. Let me show you, because in Windows what happens, at least visualize, you can visualize properly. So .terraform providers registry. This is the registry where the from downloaded HashiCorp 1 AWS version Windows operating system. This is executable. Got it?
Yeah.
So this is your providers. So now this is how you can download other providers also. For example, let's say tomorrow you say, hey, I want to work with some other providers. So let's say GitHub or Kubernetes. So Kubernetes. So likewise, this block, whole thing you copy, but you have to play with it. Remember that you get anyways error. To Terraform block, you cannot have it. So what you'll do, this one, I will add it here. Okay, like this. I did not show you the error, but this is important. So now you can more you run in it. Okay. So now it will be downloaded. Now this I call it Terraform workflow. Okay. So if you go here, Terraform workflow and DevOps school. Okay. So now if you click here, you get two workflows. I have designed two workflows. One is basic workflow and one is advanced workflow. Advanced one, right now you don't need to look for it, but basic workflows, see, this is the advanced one. Okay, but this is a basic workflow. So what do you do? So first you run Terraform init. Just now we run. What it will do? It will install the module. Providers. Okay, it can install modules also, but we don't have modules discussing right now. Then dry run the code you write, and after that you want to dry run. Don't want to create it, but just you want to verify whether it can be run or not. Dry run, check your code, check. So plan apply means it will do the changes whatever you have asked for it, and then after that you can see, and once the confirmation is done, you want to destroy the whole infrastructure here. So you want to create and update the infrastructure, apply. You want to see that what was created, show. You want to destroy the created infrastructure, destroy. You want to see what will be created, plan. So these 5 commands you have to remember it. Are you clear?
Yes.
Okay, so here you can just go for this, more you have it. So I will share this later. Okay, so Terraform workflow. Okay, now and the workflow, if you see that, just run Terraform, enter. This is the commands. Okay, so I think if you go for the image, step number 2 is also done. Now what is the step number 3? So step number 3, which is the most important one, this is where you have to write a code, correct? So you have to write a code. Now you have to decide what you want to write. So you can add the code here in this file only, tf code, but I'm not going to add it because I want to keep it separate file for it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new file, and this I will call it aws.tf. Always extension should be tf, remember that. Txt, sometime what happens, by mistake many people are storing the txt file and they say, hey, I renamed the tf file, but actually it's not tf file, it's a txt file. So you have to check that, enable the extension hidden from the view here. Okay, so I'm going to store this code here. Now the question is very important question is how to write a step number. This is the step number 2, and third, how to write a code. That is a question. How to write a code. Okay. So I want to teach you some conceptual data. Okay. Think in simple way. If you look at this here, these all are API call. See, whatever you saw, the 5,000 plus provider, it was allowing the API call. It's all API call, and this they store the JSON response. So these all are API call. That means whatever the providers you saw, that it was supporting API. Who will make API call? Here it is. Now, whenever you make an API call, typically you have, this is the API address, and then you say resources, and then you say you want to create, update, or delete or something like that, correct? Or read it also, right? This is the API call, each resources. So if you go to the AWS, I want to take you to AWS, let's say, see that here, click on the dashboard, see resources. If you go to the Azure also, resources. If you go to the uh, if you go to the any platform which support the API, they will say resources. So that means every feature on AWS is called resources. Every features of AWS, I mean Azure also, they call it resources. In GitHub also, they call it resources. Kubernetes also, they call it resources. I think Kubernetes command I am having. Let me show you. So kubectl API resources. Here, this is the commands for seeing all the resources. It's a Kubernetes resources. Now I think it will not run. Why? Because my Kubernetes clusters is not there. But let me check if I can run without Kubernetes clusters. So go to the ChatGPT, run without get cluster. So if I want to run, does not run. How to run? How to run only to list resources. Okay, so this I cannot run without cluster connected. So yes, yes, no, no. Okay, so then in that case, what you have to do? You have to go for some online documentations. So you just say Kubernetes or resources. Kubernetes is very important topic. So what I'm trying to tell you, I'm still, Google is not coming. Here it is. Okay, so this is the one. So these all are resource category and all. These all you see left side. These are the Kubernetes feature. That is what you do in Kubernetes. I'll teach you. So what I'm trying to say, no matter which provider you go, okay, here you see hundreds of provider, right? So everywhere the concept is called resources. Okay, are you understanding, all of you? All of you? Hello?
Yes, sir, I got it.
Yes, yeah.
Venu. We first identify the provider and then we look for the resources.
Huh.
Isn't
So basically, for that now, see, when you want to write a code, right? Let's say AWS code, you need to know AWS. If you want to write a code for Kubernetes, you need to know Kubernetes or GitHub, something like that. Any provider you need to know. So you know their resources and their feature. So let's say one of the simplest feature what you have in AWS is EC2. You want to create a VM. So now when you go, and let me show you how to create a VM. When you go and create a VM, see here what do you say? You select the name, you select the AMIs, you select the type, you select the all this key pair network and all. So these are what we call it. So this we call it arguments, arguments or parameters or whatever you want to call it. So arguments one, arguments two, arguments three, arguments four, like that you passed it. Correct? Now some of the arguments is required, some of the arguments are required. Some of the arguments are optional. Depends on your requirement. Okay. So now your code. Now question is how to write a code. So your Terraform code is nothing but a collections of resources and argument. That's all. This is your Terraform code. So now you'll say, Rajesh, how do I know which are the resources supported by Terraform for AWS and their arguments? So first of all, you know AWS and let's say you know EC2. If you know that, come to this AWS provider. There is a documentations for everything. Every providers will be pattern. Left side, these are the resources. See here. Now these are the category actually, because AWS is an ocean, right? Too many things. You won't be able to complete lifetime also. So many things are there. So focus on only what you want. So what do you want? So let's say you want to create a VM. So VM is under which category? So we call it Elastic Cloud Compute. You can see on AWS also. Here EC2, that's a category. So EC2, where is that? Cloud Compute E, correct? E. So where is that? Elastic Cloud Compute. Here it is. So click on this. Now which resources? So in AWS EC2 also there's so many resources are there. Where? Let me show you left side. See that? Go to the EC2 and look at this left side. So many resources are there. So don't worry about it, but understand the pattern. So which one we are focusing? So I was focusing on the VM. I want to create a VM. So what do you call it? EC2. So where is that? Here, AWS instance. Nowadays, if you Google it, it will fast, ChatGPT fast. But this is a way you can get it. Now here you have some examples. See here, resource, parameters. Look at this one more time. This is the resource, name of the resource, this is the AWS name, and this is your name. You can give it whatever the name you want, this one. And here parameters. Now we'll say, Rajesh, how do I know which parameters are there, which type of the data is supported? So go little bit down. For this is a pattern, okay? This is every providers will have something like this. Look at this here. These are the things. So many. Now you say this is given by AWS. No, this is given by Terraform. No, this is not given by Terraform. I repeat, this was the option which you have here, AWS. So whatever the options you have on AWS, they have a parameter for it, arguments for it. So here, the simple thing is whenever you want to write some code, you decide what you want, what resources you want to create. And accordingly, you find the resources and their required arguments and optional depends on it and write in this fashion. And then finally, once your code is ready, you run Terraform plan, validate the code for syntax issues, then plan, apply, and last destroy. Understood the full flow? Okay, so now let me write a code. So this is my aws.tf and I'm just copying the one example. Done. Now blindly I will not run, change this AMI ID. So go for AWS and what I want to create based on that AMI IDs, I am changing. So here MIID is this one. Okay, now type is so high, so I have to change this to um, T3 micro. Okay, T3 micro. So T3 micro. Okay, done. Now host group ARN is not needed and tenants is not needed. I know that. So you can look for the other example also. For example, this one. Okay, this is also one example. Many examples you will find on the same page. So you can copy. This is also good example.
So how
See,
to know which arguments are
huh.
mandatory and which are not?
Yeah. How do you know which arguments are mandatory, which not? So
Mhm.
the answer is very simple. Initially, you will struggle a little bit, but here you will have a required one. You will, by the way, you run it, you will get the answer also. But here
Okay.
you see optional,
Okay.
option,
Okay. They are mentioned.
optional,
Mhm.
optional. So whichever, and basically, you know what, you will not struggle. See, I'll tell you. If you start directly Terraform, definitely you struggle. But that's what I said. If you before Terraform, let's say you are coding for AWS, so but
Mhm.
you get mastered in AWS first, then come to the coding part and
Ah,
something like that. Let's say if you go for writing a software for bank, so first you understand how banks work instead of writing a code, right? So same way, it's called, one is called domain expertise, then you write a technical one. So same way, if you're writing a code for Kubernetes, first you know Kubernetes well, what you have in Kubernetes. Same way, if you're writing code for GitHub automation, know the GitHub first. So it's a very simple concept. So the moment you know the AWS, you will know which is mandatory, which is not mandatory, because you have used it while creating it through this. Okay, so here also
okay.
you'll get optional or required. So here you get all those options. So this is the pattern I'm just telling you. This is the AWS docs, resources, instance. Likewise, every providers have a similar pattern, and you should must refer the official documents only. So I just said ChatGPT also hallucinate sometime and give you the wrong results actually. So that's the reason I'm asking you to come to this place. Okay, so understood how to write a code. First, write the resources and block, and this is the fashion in which you write. One, this is one block of resources and their arguments. You want more resources? Let's say I want to create some S3 bucket. So what I will do? So this time S3 bucket is coming simple, secure S, right? So one more resources S. So go for S, um, S,
Yes,
S.
3 has gone up.
Yeah, simple. Here it is. Correct. So this is the simple storage. Now bucket I want to create. So you must read. It's a one-time activity, but because you have to do a lifetime coding now on the infrastructure. So that's all. This is the second block. What I want to create, the bucket. This is your name. Okay. This is the name which was given by, this is the resource name, and this is the bucket name which you want to create, and this is the one. Simple. So resource block, there are arguments. Some of those arguments are mandatory, some of them are optional, depends on your requirements. So what I did, I write a code, and at the end of it, what you will do, I will do the one which you know that init not validate. Validate will check the code syntax issues. Okay, so can I run this? So let me run this. So clear the screen. Terraform validate. Windows is little slow, not sure why, but Linux will be very fast. So maybe
So it will
the
validate all the Terraform files like .tf files.
in the directory, Moto directory.
Yes.
Remember, Terraform
Ye-
whenever you run, it run at the directory level. Okay.
Okay.
So now is success. Code is good because I copy pasted, so there is no problem. But if you see that, there is no problem with a space also. This okay. Okay, so now sometime if you want to bring into the right format, there's one more command which you will get come to know later anyways, fmt. So they'll give you automatically, they will correct that. Right, see, they corrected it, refreshed it, see, refresh this, see. So they correct that. Fmt means they automatically correct the format. So lots of things are there, but right now focus on the flow. So I created the code and then I check the code, and after that I'm going to dry run. Okay. So now let's do the dry run, Terraform plan. Okay.
But it will execute the provider's file also.
Yeah, everything, all the code in the directory, whatever the code, I just want very clear for clear give. I
Mm.
give you very clear instruction. Remember that always, whether it's a one code, you write everything in one, or multiple, it will run in one go. Okay.
So it will
So
install
it's
again the provider.
no, why? That's have
Mhm.
idiom potence, if it has been done, it will not be done. That
Okay,
is
but
called
the
idiom.
okay,
It will run, you can
but it
run.
will try to wait. It will run. It will try to, but when it will see like it's already been there, like
It's done, it will ignore it. Yeah, good. That's called idiom potence. Now when you run the plan, I got an error. What is this? So error is also good. You start solving the error. Most of the time error reading error is good. If I read the error, some credential API authentication is missing. So what is the happening? Let's put it in a very simple flow. Look at this. You write a code, send to Terraform, Terraform send to the provider, provider is sending to the making API call. You forgot that API call. So API call, how AWS will allow without authentication? You make a their API request. It can be from shell scripting, from PHP code, from Java code, from Terraform code, or from Ansible code. You have to give authentication, right? AWS authentication, correct? Same way you have to give Kubernetes authentication or GitHub authentication. Without that, GitHub or Kubernetes or AWS will not allow this, right? Agree?
yeah.
So now you have to set the provider authentication. How do we know how to set? I don't know. So I'll go to their page, let's say AWS, and I will ask, hey, can you tell me how can I set the authentication? So every provider, you have authentication section, and they will tell you which are the way you can authenticate. By the way, these authentication methods are not given by Terraform. This is the AWS authentication method. So these are the 6 authentication method AWS provided. So Terraform are also supporting those. So same way use Azure, whatever that, Google Cloud, whatever it is. You need to understand that too. So here I'm going to use the credentials. Okay, and that will be easy to. I can show you something which will be not hidden. Later on, you can optimize. It's not good practice to show the secret, but I'm going to show you. Okay, so what to do? So let's go for AWS, and here security credentials, and here I'm creating the credential. So this is the one. Okay, and I'm going to delete this. Okay, and now I'm going to create new one, and here it's a key and this is a secret, access key and secret key. These are the two things needed. So now how do we provide it? So in fact that document itself, if you refer, don't run, spend some time. So they will provide it. Here it is. See, copy this section, and remember that you had provided this AWS. Here it is. So now which region you are working? So of course Mumbai region, right? So Mumbai region South A, that's a code. And what is your access key? So access key is here, done, and then secret key, done. So this is the way I provide. The similar way Kubernetes also provide, other providers also you'll provide whenever you're using, and then plan. So now how many resources will be created? So I'm expecting 2 resources. See here, 2 resources, correct? See here, 2 resources to add, 0 to change, 0 to destroy. So what to do now? Apply. Simple. Apply means plan is confirmed. I want to create. You should read the output. Okay. Don't rush. And then apply. They are asking, hey, are you sure you want to create this row? Yes, I want to. I'm sure. Yes. And now you see bucket and AWS instance is being created. Let me show you. So go to the EC2 instance and now go to this here and just see hello world got created. See here initializing. Understood now? And bucket also similar way, S3 bucket. What was the name? I forgot. My dear test bucket. Did it create it? No, so far. Okay, so here in bucket it got failed. What it got failed? So creating S3 bucket, operation error, create bucket, host ID, bucket already exists. Did I
Maybe the
create?
name is
No, bucket is not exist. Let me check. DF test bucket, Mumbai region. Okay. I understood that. So this a name is not taking from here, but okay, I understood what is the problem. So this is right error. Okay, for few seconds I forgot that. So basically this is right error. Why? Because this bucket name should be globally unique. That I forgot. Okay, so globally unique. So here it is not there, but it should be globally because use this is the unique name they create worldwide. Okay, so what to do? So maybe this code was run by someone else, so they have created it already because this I copied the code, right? So let me make it unique. I'm sure this will make it unique. Understood? So now what you have to do? So this is good. You got a error. So now if you apply, one was already done. Remember, out of two. So only this time only one will be done. So this is called idempotency. Whatever the work has been completed, it will not be done. And now you see one to add, and that's a bucket one. So not two. Remember, that is already done. And now it is creating. Let's wait for it. Now it's got created. See here. So here it is. So guys, Madhu, Anshita, Patrick, understood now?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So now this is the concept. So this I showed you the adding part. I mean this creation part. But how do we update it? So guys, understand the logic first. If you want to update this one, think become get little slow and think. Let's say you go to the AWS here somewhere AWS. Can I change the AMI ID of the VM? Yes or no? Of AWS? No, it's not possible. It's not possible. So if you want, because this VM is running, you cannot change the AMI IDs. AMI ID means you have to destroy this and then create a new one. So you cannot change this. So if you change in your code also by mistake, what will happen? That resources will be destroyed, and instead of that, it will create a new resources. Logic, please understand that. Logic. if anything you want to update, if your provider is allowed to update, then only you can update. It's not a else you cannot update. But can I change this name? Yes, AWS allows that. See, AWS allows that. So here also you can change this. So right now I am adding Rajesh here. Environment. This is a tag. You can add Rajesh. Now, will it be considered as update? You only check it out. So now I can run plan also, but not interested because apply will give you the plan also. Okay, so let me show you. So now you see that I updated the tag only. So what is considered? Look at this here, change, not add. But if you would have added this one, no, if you'd have changed this one or this one, it will destroy and create a new resources. So logic that you need to be aligned with it. So now I updated and the whole infrastructure got created. So now look at the beauty here. When you want to create a large infrastructure, when you deploy some application, let's say whole environment of development, whole environment of staging, whole production environment you want to deploy. Let's say QA want to create the whole infrastructure in one go. So this kind of script which when you write, you can run entirely one go in one command, and whole infrastructure will be created, or you can update or destroy. So this is the power of like Terraform. You can code for infra. So right now we have only two resource block, but in real time you have a many resource block. Are you understanding?
So if we want to create like two VMs, say two EC2, so we have to copy it, right, with different
No, no,
names. So,
no.
mhm,
If you want to create a two VM, so you can also, this is the, you can do that. That's not a problem. Okay.
mhm.
You have to change this name, VM2, something like that. This will work, but we don't do that. So we use optimization. For example, similar VM, then count is equal to 2, something like this. So similar kind of VM you want to create, count is equal to 2.
And how the names will be like same.
Automatically there'll be name, see, tag names, duplicate name is allowed. This name, this is
Okay.
a tag actually. So it will be created similar VM named with a, but mi instance id will be different. This is will be different automatically here.
Okay.
Okay, so this, there are so many ways like that actually. Okay, so now you saw that I updated it. Now before destroying, let me complete the flow. So what I said, look at my flow. So first thing, do you install the Ansible? Oh, sorry, Terraform? Yes. Did you install the provider? Yes. Did you write a code? Yes. Did you run the commands? Yes. Did you see the state file? Where is the state file? This is in the JSON format. Where is that? So let me show you first physically. You should not modify this file. See it here. This is the latest one. This is the last backup. You can open this file. There's no harm in it, but don't modify. This file will be maintained by Terraform. How can we see that? The command line output. So Terraform show. So I have created two resources. You see the complete detail. Show command will read your state file and show you the complete details. See, this is your S3 bucket, and this is your VM. See IP address. So now you saw the fourth step also. And finally, once you have completed the whole work, you have to destroy this whole infrastructure because it will cost you, right? And then destroy. Spelling mistake actually. Destroy. So now you saw that how you can run the entire Terraform and this whole flow in it, plan, apply, show, destroy. Understood now?
And if I have to destroy only one of the resorts.
No, no. You can see, I'll tell you, there is a way to do that. But because you are starting the Terraform, I don't want to tell you because
Okay,
that
sure.
way you, uh, that way it will violate the concept of, remember that concept which I was trying to hard code in your mind, like whole code you have to run in one go. Whole directory you can run. So now if you say, Rajesh, I don't want to destroy on resources, so that is against the policies of coding for infra. Remember, you want
Mm-hmm.
to create, update, and delete. You don't want to be particular about it, because if you be particular about it, you are doing the cattle work. Sorry, uh, cattle. What is this? Pets work. Pets versus cattle. Remember, we are not here for pets. Remember, pets versus cattle. You understand this? Pets means pets means you want to play with one or two instance, some custom work. But when you are in an infra world, you are dealing with a large set of machines. Okay, you are the cattle business owner. Okay, so think in that way. You want to update entire infrastructure, or create infrastructure, or destroy infrastructure. Just like a cattle business owner, they want to manage the whole infrastructure. I mean, manage the multiple cattle. Getting my points?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay, so but that's possible. Basically, there is a one resource you can tent it, or there is a way to do that, but that's not right now. Is a good time for getting into that. Okay, so now you destroy this. Okay, and you see here whole resources. Just imagine if you have, let's say, 200 resources here you created in this file. So 200 resources will be destroyed. So see that such a power of Terraform. Whole things you can create, update, and destroy, but only one command. So this is a Terraform. Clear, all of you? Patrick, any question?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so now there are few more topics which we have, which is a small topic, but I want you to focus on it. One is Terraform variables. See, if you're coding, you have to set up variables also, right? Or how to set the conditioning. Just like here, you cannot do if else kind of thing, but there is a way to conditions. There is a way to loop also. So these are the things which I want you to look at it through the LMS. Okay, but I want to cover one most important topic, and that is modules. Okay, why this is a most important topic for me? So what is modules? So Terraform, see, think at the this way. When you do the large deployment, okay, large deployment, and I'm putting in this way. First you uh, set up, let's say, I'm just giving you some hypothetical example. Setting up, let's say, production environment, okay? And the production environment, you first what you set up? DNS, right? You DNS. Okay, let me give you the flow. You'll remember that. So first, human will talk to DNS server. Very important topics, please remember. DNS server, DNS to the external load balancer, external load balancer to your VMs of web's public VM, correct? Web, correct? After that, it will take to the again internal load balancer, okay? And this is where you may have the VMs, multiple VMs of app, hundreds of VMs. Now again, then followed by your database server. Very simple uh, flow. Are you clear with this flow? How this communication works?
Yes.
So now what you have to do? So if you look at this here, the whole things, what you need to create? So you need to create a DNS services, then external load balancer, one more here. I will write it. This you have to write. Then you have to write this VMs configurations also. Now remember, this required the VPC also, correct? Now networking, then again internal load balancers, this is the component. Then apps also, again VPC and app we need for the VM, all this thing, correct? So right here app, and same way you have to set up a database servers also. So now if you add everything in one code, no, the code will become very complicated. And sometime what happens, sometime you don't want to run the entire production environment like that. You want to customize only this, you want to run it, or only this you want to run it in the QA environment, let's say. So what do we do? So what we do, we separate it out all this thing in a different modules. So this is the module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, module 5, like this. We basically we manage the large code into the modules. So what is a modules? I'll give you a very simple definition. Do you remember this discussion, Patrick? What is the what I was saying here? Any do you remember?
Uh, yeah, so module, it's going to come as a framework, correct?
No, no, no. What is the discussion here we had?
Yeah, so like main.tf, you are saying like one directory, and I got it. Like for if anything is in one directory, is going to execute everything, and if modules going to work uh, we have to frame it
Okay,
uh,
forget about it.
and,
Ashita, can you tell me what I was saying here? The what conceptually?
It's like in one directory, whatever number of .tf files are there, it will execute all the files. If
Yeah.
there
So
are,
good, good. Yeah. So that's a good consideration actually. So yeah. So I was saying in one directory, whatever the TF files you had, it will be considered as a one project. Okay. But why we stored in a different project? Because of ease of managing the large code. Correct? No. So this is the concept. Now, so the question was, what is module? So I'll tell you a very simple way. Module is nothing but a one directory. I'm putting in a very simple way, non-technical definition. One directory which has a TF code. Simple. That means any directory which has a TF code is called a module. Simple. I repeat, one directory where you have a TF code is called module. So in that case, is this a module? Yes, this is a module. This is also called module. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Module is equal to directory where you have TF code. So now the question is, then what about how do we create a multiple modules? And how do we call all multiple modules into the one module? So basically this module which you have, let's say this module production is a directory. Okay. So this we call it root module. Inside that you'll have a multiple subdirectory, DNS directory, this directory. This we call it child module. Simple, very simple. So first I'll create a two module. How to create a two module? Let me create in front of you. So here I'm creating one module called AWS. I mean, no, sorry, not AWS. One module for EC2 and another module I'm creating S3. Just to show you the demo. Okay. The what you want to store in the module, that's a different topic. But this code I will move. Did I destroy the code? Yeah. So here this code I'll move it to here. Okay, I forgot. Mm, just a second, hold on. So practice what you have. Just give the name main. Okay, main is a standard practice instead of giving different name. Main.tf. So what I did, I am writing only simple code. I created two modules. Each of the modules have a one, two different, whatever the resources we created, separate it out. One will create a bucket. This is S3 bucket and this is the EC2, two modules. So it's gone. So now I've created two modules. Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so look at this discussion here, what I was trying to tell you. So here I was trying to tell you, this is a one root directory, inside that multiple module, and each modules we have a TF file, correct? So let's say DNS TF file will be here, and then we this will be TF file. Each directory will have their TF because module definition is very simple. I put it up. A directory which has a multiple TF code is called one module. Simple. Now which one will be child module and which will be root module depends on who's calling what. So now I'm going to call this as a root module, main.tf. Typically, look at this, main.tf. Now in this directory, I will call these two modules. So that means this is a current module will become a root module, and this module will become a child module. Understood? So now how do we call it? Local module. So go for Terraform modules DevOpsSchool. Okay, so here you have a good documentation, some examples and all. Please read this. Okay, every topics. Right now I came here because I want to copy. Okay, so I want to copy simple code. This is the one. Okay, so let me call this module. So this is the module 1, this is the module 2. Name of the module you can give it whatever you want. So here I am creating EC2, right? So here, and here I am creating S3 bucket. So bucket. Now where is the module source code? So it's in same directory, EC2 S3, right? So write like this. The directory can be outside also, but EC2, right? EC2, and this one will be S3. Simple. Now again I'm saying this source can be many places. Here I'm easy to maintain, I put it up in the local directory, but this can be any directory, and it can be GitHub also. Again I'm repeating, this path can be GitHub also. This path you can keep it some remote directory also. Okay, so here if you see, this is the remote directory. I'll talk about it in a few minutes. So are you understanding, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So now what to do? So because I have installed the two module, I have to initialize this one more time. So Terraform init to custom module. See here. So got initialized, and now if I do the plan again, remember that in the it will call one module and two module. That means two resources. See, you want to comment it out this one. Now run one more time plan, only one resources. So now whichever the module you want to run it, just call it. See, one resources. Now you understood why do we use a module? We use module because large amount of product code you cannot execute it. You want to modularize it. To modularize it, we have to manage through modules. Module is nothing but a directory which has a code, TF code. So if you call the multiple module from the one directory, that's called root module. Very simple. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Madhu, any questions?
No, this is clear actually.
Patrick?
It's good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So now the question was, I was saying, I skipped some of the topics and I was directly jumped to uh, uh, modules. Why? Why? This I would like you to go through the LMS. We have a complete videos for this. But why? So let me tell you here. Actually, you know what? The almost all the coding has been already developed. Yes, all code which you can imagine, which has been developed, except the one of your code which is your your own product. Which if you are working in the they are already using the Terraform, so they must be having that code also. You have to manage it. So where do you find these modules? So guys, this is the place you find thousands and thousands of modules. See here, the earlier the number you have is there, no, 20,000. See, look at this, 5,000 providers. That means you can use the Terraform for any code, and on top of this 20,000 modules. And these modules has been written by their companies itself. In fact, community, you can also write a modules and publish it your modules yourself. Anyone can contribute to this, and it is growing platform. See, 20,000 modules. That means everything has been written already. So this is the custom module which I showed you. But let's say I want to today we discuss, right, I want to create a production, and for that I want the VPC or EKS clusters, whatever you want. You have a free modules here. Search for it. EKS, search for it. See here, these are the official modules you have. But EKS will take 45 minutes to do that. I'll use a VPC module, which will take 4-5 minutes actually. See here, VPC module. Here it was. See, now if you want to see that this is the module, same way. This is the web location. This is the locations. Okay, and these are the parameters which you are passing to the modules. Ultimately, this code which will be passed with these parameters. And their source code you want to review, here it is in the GitHub. Spend some time. I mean, don't rush. Okay, just experience everything. This is the module. Look at this here. Main.tf, output.tf, variables.tf, version.tf. These are the tf. Rest of the files are just like ecosystem files. So free code someone has written for you. This is one directory. Remember, one directory, you have a multiple tf files. So the question is, how do we use it? So simple. Let me copy this whole code. And remember, this is my custom modules, and this is my paid module. This is my community modules, free of cost. Remember, I have not written even lines of code, and now I'm changing it, some of the variable, because my region is different, right? See here, you need to know VPC manually first you create it, then before creating through the Terraform, because that way you understand what I'm doing actually. And this I don't want, because it will take 30 minutes for create, at least 10-15 minutes for both of these. Okay, so I disable the NAT gateway, VPN gateway, which is paid services also, but I just need to create a VPC. So VPC, subnets, route tables, internet gateways, and yeah, these are the resources will be created, and these are the disabled. Good to go. So now, because I have added new modules, I have to initialize one more time. Okay, so remember, one resources, and here two resources, and let me show you how many resources will be there. So init I did, it's downloading the modules from the internet, and now I am doing plan. Look at this. See that. How many resources you will be created? Tell me.
24.
I have not written even, I have written only resources in front of you too. So you got a free code. How many free code you have? I just showed you 20,000 plus. Correct? So that's the reason I was saying, if you understand in a fastest way, you can implement in a fastest way. Make sense? So now what you have to do? If someone is asking, giving you projects, hey, let's create an infra. So divide. Infra means what? BPC, S3, this, that, and all. Those modules are already there. Maybe you have tried one custom module, and that will install your applications. Something like that. I'm just guessing. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I will create, apply. You know that rest of the commands, you know rest of the things. Apply, enter, and this will create a VPCs, route tables, subnets, whatever I described here. No, it will be created. Yes. So this is a Terraform. Okay. This is Terraform. So you will practice it, you will get it. You have LMS, go to the LMS here and go for the Terraform. Search for the course which is Terraform. You have here, go for assignment quiz. All these videos you have it anyways. There's a lot of tutorials you have for the Terraform. Anything you just searching for it. My tutorials will save your time little bit, but Google has nowadays ChatGPT also has too many things. So Terraform tutorials here. Look at this. These are all topics you'll get it here. So a lot of it. Okay. So any questions so far? Okay. And here you see there is some error. Now if I see the error, it is my mistake actually. This is some here is wrong. So I will run one more time. Any questions? Done. So let me show you that it has created VPC or not. So go to the VPC network and here see here. I had a one VPC already, I know, remember, and now you have a two VPC. See here. So this is the VPC got created. My VPC, you can see the name here somewhere. Here it is. And click on this and subnets accordingly, route tables accordingly, all this thing. One internet gateway will be there. Here it is. NAT I disabled it and gateway I disabled it. So it's so easy, right? So if you know the things, after learning the coding, just like in Ansible, remember, after knowing Ansible, you had a thousands of roles. Same way in Terraform, after knowing the Terraform, you have a thousands of modules, which will be easy to use. But you need to learn at least first time. Got it, all of you?
Yes.
Okay, so practice it, and if you have questions, you can ask me, and then tomorrow I'll teach you one more tool. Okay, see you.
Yeah. Thank you.